Live from the tank on the campus of the College of Staten Island, you're watching the second game of doubleheader coverage right here on CSI Sportsnet. Tonight in the second game, the men's basketball team will look to get back on the winning track as they will face the CCNY Beavers, who are looking for their first win of the 2019-20 season. Hi, everybody. I'm Mike Babuski, to be joined shortly by Dave Pizzuto as we get ready to bring you the second game of our doubleheader between the College of Staten Island and CCNY. For those of you that might have missed our first game, the women's basketball team was able to get their first victory of the year as they scored a season high in points, got balanced double-digit scoring from several players, including freshman Jada Rogers, as they were able to defeat soundly CCNY in game number one. And now the men's basketball team will look to get back on the winning track in game number two against CCNY. The College of Staten Island coming off of a loss against St. Thomas Aquinas by a final score of 86-66. That broke the Dolphins' two-game winning streak and dropped their record on the year down to 2-4. For the CCNY Beavers, they're still looking for their first win of the season as they're coming in with a record of 0-8. Their last game against St. Joseph's Brooklyn, they dropped by a final score of 80-65. They've been competitive in a couple of games. The previous game, they dropped to Connecticut College in overtime on the road by a final score of 83-81. And then their other close contest was against Rutgers Camden, a game which they lost by just 3 points. Like the women's basketball team, the Beavers coming in with a first-year head coach as well, Sean Flores, in his first year, and he's looking for his first victory as well. So as the players are getting ready to be introduced out on the floor, let's bring you the starting lineups for tonight's game. Starting with the visiting CCNY Beavers, it will be number 1, Isaiah Williams. Number 3, Romello Rashad. Number 4, Isaiah Denard. It'll be number 22, Danielle Piskakowski. And number 25, Yassi Shaki. Shaki, the CUNYAC Rookie of the Week. So both the men's and women's team coming in with the CUNYAC Rookie of the Week on the CCNY side. For the CSI Dolphins, it'll be number 2, Adiola Latunji. Number 3, Rigo Dustin. Number 5, Austin Mick. Number 12, Andrew Cartalis. And number 24, Joseph Ziris, rounding out the starting five for the Dolphins. We mentioned the Dolphins dropping their last game against St. Thomas Aquinas. St. Thomas coming in as the number 16 team in the country in that game. Dolphins were able to keep it close throughout most of the first half, was able to cut it down to as few as 14 in the second half, but St. Thomas Aquinas able to pull away and win that game by a final score of 86-66. Adiola Latunji led the Dolphins in scoring, finishing with 22 points on 7 of 13 shooting from the field. Dolphins also getting double-digit production from Andrew Cartalis, Joseph Ziris, and Chris Velasquez in that game as the Dolphins saw their two-game winning streak come to an end against St. Thomas Aquinas. So it will be the Dolphins and the Beavers here in this second game of the doubleheader. Taking a quick look over on the CCN side of the statistics. We mentioned Rookie of the Week, Yassi Shaki, leading the team in scoring at 17.3 points a game. Two other players averaging in double digits for the Beavers, Romello Rashad at 15 points a game, and Isaiah Denard averaging just under 12. The Beavers coming in averaging 68.5 points a game. They've allowed 80. The Dolphins coming in scoring 66 points a game as well, and they've been allowing 86.7 points. The Dolphins having won 2 out of their last 3 games before dropping that game against St. Thomas Aquinas, starting the season 0-3, facing some top competition in Division II, and runned away here in this second game of the doubleheader between the Dolphins and the Beavers. Dolphins control the opening tip. Mick with the basketball. Now Desteem. Desteem cross-court pass over to Cartalis. Nice feed inside that time, but the Dolphins missing the layup as Latunji missing the layup for the Dolphins, and it'll be Beaver basketball. Beavers working the ball around the perimeter now as it's Williams. Williams feeding it over to Pizikowski. Pizikowski over to Shockey. They work it inside, but the pass is going to go out of bounds, so the Beavers turn the ball over on their first possession. Beavers coming into the game tonight, averaging just over 18 turnovers a game, and they pick up one on their first possession. Desteem with the basketball. Now feeds it over to Ziris. Now Mick. Mick able to feed it to Cartalis. Nice pass inside to Ziris. His shot is up, no good. And we're going to have a whistle and a foul on the play. As that foul is going to be called on Isaiah Denard, the 6'2" senior from Tottenville. He'll pick up his first, and that will send Ziris to the free throw line to shoot 2 for the Dolphins. Ziris coming in, shooting 75% from the line, 9 of 12, and he misses the first. One more free throw upcoming here for Ziris. Tunji sporting a new headband tonight. As his second free throw is up, no good, but Mick there to grab the offensive rebound now for the Dolphins. So that time, Desteem dribbles the ball out of bounds. So a little bit of a slow start for the Dolphins offensively here in game number 2. Missing a couple of shots and now turning the ball over. Dolphins looking to press as the ball goes up over to Rashad, and Rashad able to get across the midcourt line and feed it over to Williams. Williams looking to work the ball inside as he feeds it out now to Pizikowski. Pizikowski working the ball out over to Rashad as the Beavers now set up with 7 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Rashad in the corner to Pizikowski. Pizikowski, tough floater in the lane, is up, no good. And Ziris there to grab the rebound for the Dolphins. Desteem feeds the ball out over to Ziris. Ziris now working the ball out over to Cartalis with scoreless through the first minute 50. And we're going to have a whistle and a blocking foul. So the Beavers will pick up their second team foul here in the first half. As that foul will be on Isaiah Williams. That will be his first, team second. So the Dolphins will inbound with a fresh 20-second shot clock. And 18-13 remaining here in this scoreless first half. Pass goes out to Cartalis, and now it's Mick. Mick able to work his way inside. He feeds it out over to Latunji. Latunji to Mick, now Cartalis. Extra pass over to Desteem. His open three-pointer is up, no good. And Saki there to grab the rebound for the Beavers. Rashad with the basketball. Dolphins 3-2 zone on this defensive possession. Rashad looking to work against Desteem. He pulls up for the three-pointer. That's no good. Both teams looking for their first points of the night. And Desteem with the basketball now for the Dolphins. Now it's Latunji. Latunji driving his way inside and lays it up and in. So Adiola missed his first layup, makes no mistake there. Gets the first points of the game for the Dolphins. They lead by a score of 2-0 as Rashad drive down the lane. That's up, no good. And Desteem grabs the rebound for the Dolphins. Mick, Cartalis, open three-pointer. That's no good. Pizikowski there for the rebound. And here come the Beavers. Rashad with the basketball. Pizikowski, the Beavers working it around the perimeter now. As that's Denard. Denard, a nice feed inside that time to Shockey, who lays it up and in. 2-2 the score now. Dolphins and Beavers, as now it's Mick with the basketball. Latunji. Dolphins work the ball to Ziris in the corner. Zeris working his way inside. He kicks it out. The open three-pointer by Mick is good. Nice shooter's touch by Austin. His first basket of the game. He has 3, and the Dolphins lead by a score of 5-2. Williams, Saki, Pizikowski with the basketball. He works it out now to Denard. He thought about the long shot, and it's an air ball, and Cartalis is there to grab the rebound for the Dolphins. Cartalis back up over to Desteam. Nice move to get inside and lay it up and in. Desteam with the basket. The Dolphins on a 5-0 run, and they lead 7-2 as the Beavers turn it over, and we're going to have a whistle and a blocking foul on the play. As you've seen Shockey turn the ball over, and the Dolphins able to get to the basket. So we're going to have a whistle, and we're going to have our first timeout on the floor. Let's step aside, take a break. 15:56 remaining in the first half. Dolphins lead 7-2. You're watching men's basketball coverage on CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com.
Black on Staten Island, a top 5 wing joint in America by Food and Wine magazine. Serving daily lunch and dinner at the bar or on the floor. Perfect for family and group parties with top shelf drink and delicious food. From great times with good friends. Live sports and watch parties. To Staten Island's hottest nightlife. The Kettle Black features live music and DJs weekly. The Kettle Black features daily and nightly food and drink specials. The best Staten Island has to offer is at the Kettle Black. We'll see you there at the Kettle Black, located on 415 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
We're back with 15:56 remaining in the first half, and fresh off of making sure our stats and our other equipment is going to work throughout this second game is my broadcast partner, Dave Pizzuto, who's back now to take over the play-by-play. Dave?
Thanks, Mike. What happened?
What happened is the Dolphins are on a 5-0 run, and they lead by a score of 7-2.
Yeah, no, I was watching from the other side of the court. You know, it was a lackluster start for both teams, Mike. Kind of nobody could crack the scoring column, and now the Dolphins, after a 2-2 tie, have opened it up. Cartalis misses the first of 2 free throws, and the second one is up and good. So he splits the pair. Dolphins up by 6. Here you can see on your screen we're just over 4 minutes in, had our first media timeout. And now we resume with CCNY working quickly. Around the perimeter they go. And back up to number 3, Romello Rashad. Gives over to Williams. Williams back to Rashad. Rashad spots up a long-range three-pointer. That's good. Romello Rashad cuts the Dolphins' lead to just 3, 8-5. Latunji works it across court. Back to Mick. Mick thought about driving, now back pedals. Barking out the offense. He's got Rashad fronting him. Check that, Williams. Zeris. Now a long-range 3 for Mick. And he misses off the front iron. Here comes Rashad the other way. Rashad sidesteps to his right. Pulls up. Back pedals. Now a straightaway 3 for Saki. No good. And it's won by Cartalis. Yassine Saki had a go there from the top of the perimeter. Mick works it around Cartalis. And we're going to have a travel whistled against Cartalis. Dolphins give it back.
So the Beavers trying to work their way back in the game, Dave, down 8-5, and we didn't have much of a chance to talk in the pregame, but just like the women's Beaver basketball team has a new head coach, so do the men.
Yep, and they too looking for their first victory of the season. CCNY starting out 0-6. And here's another 3 for Saki. That attempt with a man in his face is buried, and CCNY has now buried 2 3-pointers to go on a 6-0 run and tie the score at 8. Velasquez, who had checked in earlier. Now he front pedals, kicks it over to Latunji, back to Velasquez, and he back pedals with 15 on the shot clock. Desteam Destim now working right-handed dribble. Spots up for three. That's good.
Yeah, Destim with a big three-pointer there to break that 6-0 run, and we give the Dolphins a 3-point lead.
Piskatowski had his hand in his face. Now Piskatowski drives the baseline. He is blocked by Ziris. CCNY retains possession as they'll funnel in a couple of more substitutions. Isaiah Denard comes in. And Peter Talbot has checked into the game for the Beavers.
Ziris with his 9th block in his 7th game here in 2019.
Denard controls with the right hand. Switches over. Checks it over to Saki. Saki went up and down with it. It was a jump ball as Delahanty got a hand on it. Possession will stay with CCNY. 9 seconds on the shot clock.
Sorry, Dave. Shockey leading the team in scoring, over 17 a game.
Now they work it up top to Denard again. He kicks it over to Williams. Williams just inside the arc, misses, and Ziris gets the rebound. Here's Velasquez driving down the sideline now. Stops at the baseline. Gives it over to Latunji. A baseline three, no good. Ziris went up for it, but he is going to be fouled by Talbot as Talbot ran under his rebound attempt.
Yeah, Ziris went up really strong that time for the rebound and was able to draw the foul. And 14 fouls already on the Beavers, none for the Dolphins.
Yeah, so Ziris now controls. They work it around. Velasquez will have a go from three, no good. Delahanty gets up for the rebound. Gives it right to Latunji. His putback, no good. Gets his own rebound. Fights one off the glass and in.
Yeah, Adiola now with his 2nd basket of the game. He has 4.
Well, Dolphins, after CCNY tied the game at 8, back on a 5-0 mini run. Williams controls. Around the horn, back to Williams. Williams, Destim fronts him. He gets rid of it to Saki. Saki tried to drive, fell to one knee, gives it over to Piskatowski. Now Denard. Velasquez all over Denard. They work it in the corner. Saki spots up. That's a 2-pointer. That is good right at the buzzer. Beating the shot clock horn there. Breaks the CSI run. Ziris over to Velasquez. He drives. That pass was deflected. Won by Delahanty. Ziris will unload for 3. Missed it all. Latunji off the glass. No good. Ziris with the rebound, and he puts it back in.
The Dolphins are really hurting CCNY on the glass, Dave. 11-5 the rebounds, and 12-5, I should say, in the early going.
Yeah, good persistence by the Dolphins as Saki looked to sidestep the CSI defense, drew a foul. More substitutions funnel in. Austin Mick returns for the Dolphins. Rashad checks in for CCNY along with Terrell Trim. And CCNY has possession. Talbot runs it in the corner to Denard. Back to Talbot. Pass errant. It was intended for Trim. No good. And that'll be another turnover for the Beavers.
Yeah, that'll be the 3rd turnover of the game, Dave.
Mick now works it over to Latunji. Drives the paint. Inside give to Delahanty, but he was interfered with. Looked like Talbot might have gotten in there first.
You know, Dave, the Dolphins are a very small team. We'll step aside.
Yeah, we'll step aside for this media timeout. Dolphins lead 15-10. Stay with us. More CSI men's basketball action coming up next.
Man.
Hobra, a taco joint, Staten Island, where we're proud to have shared our family-first spirit with people from throughout New York City and the world. With indoor dining available both at the bar and on the floor. Or step outside for additional seating and an outdoor bar. Serving beer that's crisp, ice cold, and worthy of a day at the beach. Cocktails that explode with flavor. And great food made with the freshest and healthiest ingredients available. Events feature food and drink specials. Live music. and the best of Staten Island nightlife. Your CSI Student ID saves you 10% on your dining order at Hobra. Visit us at 412 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
Welcome back here to the Tank, the College of Staten Island, where the Dolphins are up ahead of the CCNY Beavers, winless so far through 6 games. Dolphins up by 5 as we get back from the media timeout with James Delahanty at the free throw line.
David, CCNY being kept in the game by freshman Yasi Saki, the CUNYAC Rookie of the Week, 7 of the 10 Beaver points so far.
So Delahanty makes the first free throw. Saki returns to the game. He replaces Piskatowski for Delahanty. That was his first point. Second free throw is off the back iron, no good. Dolphins battle for the offensive board, and Mick comes down with it. Dolphins continue to take advantage on the offensive glass. Mick now by himself, needs some help, finds Velasquez in the backcourt. Velasquez has one kicked away by Rashad. I believe they'll put some time back on the clock, 20 seconds.
Velasquez coming off of an 11-point game against St. Thomas on Saturday.
Yep, started to find the hot hand in that game at times. Mick over to Velasquez now, this time from the other side of the court, he buries the three. Biggest lead so far for the Dolphins.
Velasquez's first basket of the game, and Dave, he's really shown so much more confidence this year.
Yeah, Dolphins were one of their last 5 from three-point range before that. Hit by Velasquez as Cartalis has checked back in. Actually, he does not. He does. Somebody needs to come off the floor. It is Ziris who finally gives way. Cartalis now bounces one over to Mick. CCNY needs a stop here. Well, they let this one get away from them. Latunji thought about a 3. Over the shoulder pass to Mick. Back to Latunji. Open three-pointer for Latunji. No good. They battle for the rebound. It is won by Denard. Here comes the Beavers the other way. Piskatowski. Fronted heavily by the defense, and now Romello Rashad has to backpedal and start over. He hands it off to Williams. Back to Rashad. Looking inside. Saki interfered with and now picked off by Latunji. They battle, and last touched by Piskatowski. That'll be another turnover for CCNY. Rigo Desteam returns for the Dolphins. 5 turnovers here as we will have a 30-second timeout. And Mike, the Dolphins, ever since CCNY buried those 2 3-pointers to make it 8-8, are now have a 11-2 run.
Yeah, you know, Dolphins are playing well, Dave. They're rebounding the basketball extremely well, out-rebounding 13-6 as you take a look at the all-time series lead, 61-8 for the CSI Dolphins, including 8 in a row, 20 out of 21.
Yeah, you see the dominance that CSI has exercised. We talked about the Dolphins' ownership of the series on the women's side. And now on the men's side, the Dolphins looking to continue the streak. They've won 8 in a row. And these 2 teams will meet again later on this season at CCNY. Mick drives the baseline, gives it over to Cartalis. Baseline 3 is good.
Dolphins now 4 of 11 from the 3-point line here, Dave, in the first half.
So the Dolphins extend to a 12-point lead. And now the run is 14-2. Saki looking to Rashad. He fires from downtown, no good. And Dolphins come back the other way. 3/4 speed. Mick over to Rigo Desteam. Finds Velasquez in the corner for 3. It's good.
Velasquez continuing to show that confidence. He has 6.
Dolphins are starting to heat up from downtown. 1 of their first 5. They're 4 of their last 7. Driving in is CCNY. Needing help. Piskatowski gets it over to Denard. Denard fronted by 2 defenders. CCNY works it around. Saki for 3. No good off the back iron. Here comes Velasquez the other way. Velasquez eyes up the court. Gives over to Destim. Destim wants to drive. Over to Delahanty. Velasquez in the corner. It's Mick for three.
Beautiful extra pass that time. Gets Mick the three-pointer. 18-point lead for the Dolphins.
Dolphins red hot from the floor. Here comes Denard now. Denard wants to penetrate. 7-footer. It rattles around and in.
Yeah, that finally breaks the Dolphin run as you have an opportunity to see that extra pass by Velasquez to Mick.
Yeah, beautiful display of passing there. Nice replay by our engineer, Joe Masha. And on the other side of the floor, the Dolphins had one knocked away. Dolphins will have possession here. Closing in on 9 minutes to play here in the first half. Quick moving first half. Velasquez now. All over him is Cambaris. Mick now to Destim. Thought about a three. Cartalis back to Destim. Destim looks to drive. Finds Cartalis. Thought about a three. Tries baseline instead. Baby hook. No good. And here comes CCNY the other way. They're looking to run. This is Rashad. Rashad spots out from the free throw line. That one's good.
Nice basket that time by Rashad, trying to keep the Beavers close.
Oh, and there's an errant pass intercepted by Saki. Yassine Saki, 3-on-3 the other way. Gives it up, yields to Agundade. Now in the corner, that's a three-pointer for Cambaris. And CCNY climbs back to within 11, 28-17. This is a timeout. It's a full timeout called by the College of Staten Island. They have an 11-point lead. We'll step aside, take a break. When we come back, more Dolphins basketball right here on CSI Sportsnet.
Champions know how to seize opportunities. When they see moments of greatness unfold right before their eyes, they push as hard as they possibly can, and then they push harder. Because the heart of a champion never settles, never quits, and never stops giving its all. We are champions. We are Division II. We go big, we give it everything we've got, and we win. On the field, on our campuses, in our communities, for our causes, in our careers. We rise to become champions in everything we do. We are Division II, and there are no limits here. We make our time count. We set our own path. We become champions on our terms. It's time to up your game, because we're here to play and learn. But most importantly, we're here to discover ourselves, our vision, our heart, our drive, to achieve every goal we aim for, because we want to be champions at the highest level, life. At Division II, the opportunities are here. Are you ready?
Back to live action here from the College of Staten Island. The Dolphins, victims of a 7-0 run the other way by the Beavers, has knocked their once 18-point lead down to 11. But the Dolphins have possession here. Mick bounces it over to Velasquez. CCNY amped up the defensive pressure. Bounce pass inside to Delahanty. Off the glass and in.
Yeah, that's a couple of back-to-back assists there for Velasquez. Lead back to 13.
CCNY now the other way. This is Rashad. Barks out the offensive signals. Gives over to Cambaris. They work it around. Aragundade gives it back to Cambaris. Now driving the baseline, Rashad gives it over to Saki instead. He drives inside. Nice feed inside to Rashad. His basket is good, and he was fouled.
Yeah, you got to be impressed with the way Saki has played here in the first half. Able to get the assist on that play, feeding the ball to Rashad, who has 3 baskets already for the Beavers, and an opportunity to cut the Dolphin lead down to 10.
And Cartalis now with the foul, his first. And Rashad, who has 7 points, make that 8. Cuts the Dolphins' lead to 10. As the Dolphins now on a CCNY, on a 10-2 run. Velasquez trying to penetrate, no can do, gives it over to Mick. Mick going left, gives over to Cartalis. A long-range three-pointer, buries it.
Yeah, that was long range as Cartalis a couple of feet back from the three-point line, able to bury it.
7 points for Cartalis. Bounce pass, intercepted by Cartalis. Picks it up off the ground. Doesn't have numbers, but finds Mick wide open for 3, no good. And nice box out and rebound by Cambaris. He gives it over to Williams. Williams to Rashad. Again, CCNY wants to slow things down, call their offensive play. Players come in motion. Saki looking to screen Mick. They give over to Camberis in the corner for three. Short arms it, no good. Saki with the offensive rebound. He's fouled. And if that's on Cartalis, it's his second. It will be.
So that time the Beavers able to get a rare offensive rebound here in this first half. So they'll have an opportunity now to inbound the basketball with 20 seconds remaining on the shot clock.
Dolphins with only 3 fouls here through the first 13 minutes and change, but 2 of them on Cartalis, who now will see the bench. Working inside in the paint. Nice give and a big block by Latunji. Rebound collected by the Dolphins. Here they come down the other way. Destine, Velasquez, and he backpedals. Reset the offensive play. Velasquez almost slipped and fell. Gives way to Destine. Mick, Latunji, driving baseline. Sidesteps one defender off the glass and in.
Yeah, that time it seemed like the interior defense kind of peeled away from Adiola. He now has 6.
There's a 3-point attempt. No good by Saki. And the rebound collected by the Dolphins. Saki now 1 for 4 from downtown. Here comes Destine. Is given a lane. Drives in. He gets the layup and the foul. And just like that, the Dolphins lead back up to 17 and a chance to match their biggest. As Destine will go to the line. Destine this season 4 of 4 from the free throw line. Katowski will come back in. Peter Talbot checks in as well. Saki to the bench. Camberis to the bench. Extra point, no good. So the Dolphins lead holds at 17.
Dolphins 2 of 7 from the line here tonight.
Here comes CCNY now. This is Talbot giving it around the horn. Aragundade gives over to Williams. Williams spots up. That's a long-range 2. No good. And Latunji gets the rebound, and he tried to deliver it over to Destine. We're on the same page, but Destine recollects. Down they come down the floor. CCNY working man-to-man defense here. Velasquez trying to find the lane. Turnaround jumper. And that one's collected by Piskatowski with the rebound. Talbot gets it back. Foul on Velasquez.
So Velasquez called for the foul out on the floor. Just the 4th team foul for the Dolphins. First foul on Velasquez. So the Beavers will get to inbound the basketball with 25 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Dolphins in the middle of a 7-0 run.
Dolphins have led just about the entire way. CCNY has not led. There were a couple of ties in the early going. They've led by as many as 18 in this half. The lead is now 17. Saki, who's back into the game, has control, gives over to Williams. Bounce pass to Saki, he has to catch up to it. Drives baseline, gives it over, and now Williams is interfered with by Velasquez again. So the Dolphins will have to get another substitution. This is Velasquez who will come out in favor of Brian Gomez, while Terrell Trim has come back in for the Beavers.
Yeah, that's too bad for Velasquez, Dave. He was playing pretty well, but, that foul, well out onto the floor forces him to the bench.
CCNY working it around. Williams trying to shed Gomez, finds Saki, back to Williams. In the corner, Piskatowski back to Williams for 3, no good. Bounces around and collected by Destine. Here come the Dolphins the other way now. Destine gets one back inside from Ziris. He's interfered with. Looks like Williams got too much forearm on there. And Destine will go back to the free throw line.
Yeah, the Dolphins, Dave, have done a nice job all night long, really being able to work the ball inside. And you combine that with 7 of 15 from the three-point line, you have a 17-point lead.
Yeah, and on the other side, CCNY shooting just 36% from the floor, 33% from downtown. And one area that needs to get better for the Dolphins, Mike, is their free throw shooting now. 2 of 8 as Destine has missed his only 2 shots. 1 more coming. Dolphins as a team this year shooting just a hair under 70%. And he airballs the second one. So now it's in their head, Mike. The Dolphins 2 of 9 from the free throw line as a team. So they've left some points on the floor. CCNY with an opportunity the other way. Trim gives it over to Denard. Denard back to Trim. He collects. Now he drives inside, lays it off on the interior. Nice pass, but CCNY opts out. And bounced off of Brian Gomez and out of play. So we got with 12 seconds left here.
You know, the one thing we've seen constantly from this Dolphin team, Dave, is an all-out effort defensively, and you've seen that again here tonight so far.
Denard gets it over to Trim. Piskatowski. Piskatowski stops his dribble. Was looking baseline. And turnover by CCNY.
Yeah, so the Beavers turn the ball over once again, Dave. That's their 7th of the first half.
Want to send a shout out to Jennifer Pizzuto, listening to us from South River, New Jersey. I think she's tuned in for every single broadcast, Mike.
Yeah, she's awesome. I'm
That's
going to give a shout out to Debbie, but she's not listening here tonight.
It would fall on deaf ears, Mike, although Jen would appreciate it. Here's Destim driving to his left, hands over to Mick. Mick driving towards the lane, gives over to Latunji. He jams it home, but the offensive foul was called on Austin Mick.
Yeah, an exciting play that time by Mick, feeding Latunji, and you know the crowd gets excited when he gets to attack the rim, but unfortunately for the Dolphins, they pick up the offensive foul.
Let's just say if there was no foul there, this place would have erupted. It almost did, halfway did anyway. Here's another look at that last exchange. Didn't count, but it looked pretty. Good pick up there by our camera crew. CCNY works in the corner. Now inside to Saki. Nice delivery into the paint, but Saki can't get it to fall. Here comes CSI. 3/4 speed down the other way. Destin, Ziris, Latunji. Latunji wanting space. Gives over to Mick. Mick for 3. It's good.
And no hesitation that time by Austin as he hits his 3rd three-pointer of the game, 3 of 5.
Biggest lead for the Dolphins. It's 20 points. Give over to Williams. Williams over to Rashad. Rashad wants to drive. Baseline jumper. No good. Latunji gets the rebound. Again, the Dolphins 3/4 speed down the floor. Destim driving in the paint. Gives over to Gomez. Gomez for 3.
13-0. Dolphin run now, 43-20.
Dolphins go the other way. Defensively, they're working their zone defense. CCNY tries to find bodies in the corner. The give over to Rashad. Rashad, bounce pass inside. Piskatowski goes up strong. No good. Ziris with the rebound.
Beavers now 8 of 25 from the field.
Dolphins on a 13-0 run. This is Ziris. Ziris finds Destim. Thought about a 3. Destim to Ziris. Nice feed. Ziris inside. Offensive foul.
Yeah, so the Dolphins will pick up their 7th team foul of the first half, and it looks like we're going to have a timeout, Dave.
Media timeout on the floor. We will step aside, take a break. Dolphins 43, CCNY 20. Stay with us. You're watching men's basketball right here on CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com.
Hobra, a taco joint, Staten Island, where we're proud to have shared our family-first spirit with people from throughout New York City and the world. With indoor dining available both at the bar and on the floor. Or step outside for additional seating and an outdoor bar. Serving beer that's crisp, ice cold, and worthy of a day at the beach. Cocktails that explode with flavor. And great food made with the freshest and healthiest ingredients available. Events feature food and drink specials, live music, and the best of Staten Island nightlife. Your CSI Student ID saves you 10% on your dining order at Hobra. Visit us at 412 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
Welcome back here to the College of Staten Island. where the Dolphins have themselves a 43-20 lead. So CCNY slowing things down, trying to work their half-court offense. They need something positive going into the locker room here against the Dolphins, who have really shredded the CCNY Beavers from the beyond the arc.
Yeah, 53% from the three-point line, 9 of 17 for the Dolphins.
Cambaris misses his baseline corner three. Dolphins go the other way. Latunji back to Mick. Mick driving right side. Crossover dribble. Latunji in the corner for three. No good. Delahanty with the rebound. Backdoor to Latunji. He sidesteps a defender. And offensive foul called on Adeola Latunji. Oh, he had two whistles. The call was on both.
That's a bad call, my boy. Yeah, rub your head, bro.
Nah,
that's a terrible call, my boy. No funny.
The fans giving it to the officials here. I got one ear on them. But the officials agreed.
Oh, my.
I think the fan might be right on that one. Dave.
Mike, you're going to side with the fans all the time. We know this, you know. CSI picks up another foul here. That was on Brian Gomez, quick blocking foul. And with CSI over the limit, single bonus. This will be a 1-and-1 opportunity here for the Beavers. First free throw, no good. So Williams misses the front end of a 1-and-1. Here comes CSI the other way. Under 2 minutes to play, first half. Delahanty working with Mick to break the press. Mick drives inside. Give over to Gomez. Gomez for three, no good. And the rebound won by Piskatowski. Saki, who's been quiet, puts one up off the glass, no good. And the rebound won by Gomez.
Boy, CCNY has been stuck on 20 for a long time, Dave.
Yeah, Piskatowski, Saki now 3 of 9 after the hot start.
Yeah, I think he's missed his last 5, Dave.
We approach 1 minute to play here in the first half. Dolphins with their biggest lead, looking to make it more. Latunji lost control, gets it back, off the glass, jumper, no good. And here comes CCNY the other way. Romello Rashad, touchdown pass. Down the other way for Saki. Saki drives in, finds Rashad for three up top, and that one's good.
Yeah, Rashad's done a good job helping the Beavers stay in the game. He's got 11 of their 23.
Nice bit of passing there by the Beavers on that last exchange. CSI with 13 seconds between shot and game clock will look to hold and run their offensive set. Mick from the left side. Now front pedals, 8 seconds on the shot clock. They work it around to Ziris. Ziris, baseline jumper, that's good.
Real tough jumper that time by Ziris. He now has 4.
Smooth form there by Ziris. Under 10 to play here. CCNY will hold for the last shot. We're down to 5 and 4. Rashad threads into the lane. Nice pass inside, but Saki cannot get it off in time, and the Dolphins will take a 22-point lead into the locker room.
Boy, what a first half there for the Dolphins. Going into halftime, 9 of 19 from the three-point line, 17 of 33 from the field, 51.5%, Dave.
And we're joined now by CSI head coach TJ Tibbs. TJ, always feels good to go into the halftime break with a lead, especially with one as big as this one. What has your team done right here in the first half?
I think we're really sharing the ball. I mean, it's easier to make threes and to hit threes when they're open threes. And CCNY is playing great defense. I mean, Sean Clores in his first year has done a tremendous job for them. But, we're sharing the ball. It's moving, so we're getting a lot of open shots. I mean, even guys like James Delahanty, who's not necessarily looking for a shot all the time, it's helping find a one more pass. And then I'm proud of guys like Rigo Destine, Chris Velasquez getting to the lane, kicking it out. And, we had a game, last game, Austin Mick was 0 for 4 from the field. I told him I'll never play him again if he ever went 0 for 4. And it's not the fact that he didn't hit any shots. It's the fact that he didn't go 0 for 12, the nerve. But, we got to continue playing our game. This year we got to kind of live by the three a little bit, but I can live by those threes, the open one. But we'll see what happens in the second half.
Coach, in that first half, you out-rebounded CCNY 26-13. Rebounding's been a struggle all year round. What's helped turn things around here tonight?
I mean, honestly, and this is no disrespect to CCNY, it's just the teams we've been playing have been monstrous in the front lines. And I don't think my kids are giving any less effort, and I don't think the CCNY kids aren't playing hard because they are battling. But I just think it's a little bit easier to manage because their size is a little bit like us, and we got a chance to rebound, and we just were fortunate to grab a couple more rebounds than they had this game.
So, TJ's been a great first half. Good luck the second half, and get yourself in the locker room.
All right, thank you.
All right, you got
Thanks for having me.
That's TJ Tibbs. His team, Mike, 2-4 this season, and they've got a monster halftime lead here against the Beavers.
Yeah, they really do. They really played well, and, the Beavers were able to come back and tie it up at 8. The Dolphins able to get a couple of baskets from that point forward, and they've really never looked back. A couple of long, extended runs, and, one thing you got to say about this Dolphin team, Dave, they hustle all the time, and they really do play real strong defense as a team.
Absolutely. So we will go into halftime with the Dolphins up by 22 points. It's CSI 45 and the CCNY Beavers 23. Stay with us when we come back. First half statistics, and we'll get you ready for the second half of play. Stay with us.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
When your car is damaged, where you take it is your decision. But insurance companies would like you to think otherwise. While they may have a lot of pull, it may not always be in the best interest of your car. Your car will be fixed right and on time. What insurance company can argue with that?
Call Dependable Auto Body at 718-447-4898.
Hi, Meals on Wheels. I'm Marco. I'm a college student, and I volunteer as a driver for Meals on Wheels. I think it's awesome meeting these people. I mean, they're so interesting. They've had so many wonderful experiences in life. Your community helps to raise you up into the person that you become. Meals on Wheels is a great way to give back to that community.
Cobra, a taco joint, Staten Island, where we're proud to have shared our family-first spirit with people from throughout New York City and the world. With indoor dining available both at the bar and on the floor. Or step outside for additional seating and an outdoor bar. Serving beer that's crisp, ice cold, and worthy of a day at the beach. Cocktails that explode with flavor. And great food made with the freshest and healthiest ingredients available. Events feature food and drink specials, live music, and the best of Staten Island nightlife. Your CSI Student ID saves you 10% on your dining order at Cobra. Visit us at 412 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
Listen, you're my friend.
I noticed you haven't really been yourself recently.
Yeah, I feel like something's up.
How are you?
Are you okay?
Is there anything you want to talk about?
I just want to know how you're feeling.
And listen, even if you don't know what to say, I'm here to talk.
No matter what you're going through,
I just want you to know I'm here.
I've got your back. When you want to talk, I'm here.
The Kettle Black on Staten Island, a top 5 wing joint in America by Food and Wine magazine. Serving daily lunch and dinner at the bar or on the floor. Perfect for family and group parties with top shelf drink and delicious food. From great times with good friends. Live sports and watch parties. To Staten Island's hottest nightlife. The Kettle Black features live music and DJs weekly. The Kettle Black features daily and nightly food and drink specials. The best Staten Island has to offer is at the Kettle Black. We'll see you there at the Kettle Black, located on 415 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
Welcome back here to the College of Staten Island, where the Dolphins have themselves a big 45-23 lead. Mike, the Dolphins did a lot of good things in that first half.
Yeah, they really did, Dave. You've come to expect the Dolphins to come out and play really hard defensively, and they've done that here tonight. But they're also 9 of 19 from the three-point line. They've done a nice job on the defensive end. They're out-rebounding CCNY 26-13, including 8-2, Dave, on the offensive boards.
Yeah, and that's really where we've seen it, and the Dolphins have just been good on the inside. They've missed some layups there, but not as much as CCNY has missed, Mike. They're only 5 of 17 from the floor inside the arc. Otherwise, CCNY has struggled from the arc as well, even though they hit on some early ones. They kind of finished the game. They finished the first half relatively cold from beyond the arc, and both teams have protected the ball well, Mike, but it wasn't until the late stages of the first half where the Dolphins got in a little bit of foul trouble. Their ability to keep their starters in the game for a long stretch of time really helped them as well.
Yeah, and you have an opportunity to see the statistics in the first half, and the Dolphins playing very well, and they have this big lead despite shooting just 2 of 8 from the free throw line in the first half.
Yeah, and that's what you don't see on your screen is that the Dolphins were only 25% from the free throw line, but they made up for it. They made up for it with second chance opportunities, three-pointers, obviously. When you hit 9 of them in a half, that's 27 points right there. That's going to give you, a pretty big cushion. So that's where we are at halftime. The Dolphins are up by 22 points, and with 20 minutes left, the Beavers will have to put up a very strong 20 minutes to get themselves back into it. Otherwise, the Dolphins are heading towards their 3rd win of the season. So we're going to step aside again, take another few minutes here away from the air. We'll pause for some commercial breaks, and when we come back, we'll have the second half ready for you right here on CSI Sportsnet. Stay with us. I'm going to get a quick snack upstairs.
Hi, may I please have an application? Thank you.
Skip the drama. Get your diploma.
Okay.
Take that first step towards a better future. Find free adult education classes at finishyourdiploma.org.
As an American, it's hard to hear that we have a serious hunger issue in our country. And as a parent, it's even harder to hear that 1 in 5 of our kids struggles with hunger, especially when billions of pounds of good food are wasted every year. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide billions of meals to families in need right in your community. Visit feedingamerica.org to support Feeding America and your local food bank. Together we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish!
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's not something you buy.
Or something you take.
In fact, there's only one way to get it.
It has to be given to you, freely.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape. Consent.
If you don't get it, you don't get it.
It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge.
We're back here at halftime where the College of Staten Island leads CCNY by a score of 45-23. The Dolphins able to do a nice job closing out the first half on a 15-3 run, Dave, to turn a 30-20 lead into 45-23.
Yeah, that was pretty much the breaking point. The Dolphins started to rain down those threes, Mike, and the next thing you know, the Beavers were back down to 17-18, and Dolphins have kind of nursed themselves back up here. They led by as many as 23 and fell into a 22-point cushion here to get us ready for the second half of play. So, you know, Mike, we have a few minutes. Why don't we take a look at what's upcoming here for the Dolphins over these next couple of weeks? Like the women's team, they start with Medgar Evers, and then the play picks up in December with the tournament.
Yeah, you know, they'll have one game after that Medgar Evers game, Dave. That'll be a week from Saturday at Pace University, a game that's scheduled to begin at 3 o'clock up in Pleasantville, New York. And that'll be it, Dave, until the Tournament of Heroes. And then the Dolphins will be in action Friday, December 27th against Curry College. That game to begin at 7:30. And then hopefully, if you're a CSI Dolphin fan, of course, they'll be in the second game at 3 o'clock that Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, and Bridgewater College and Wheaton College are the other two teams that are in the Tournament of Heroes. So, as always, we expect that to be a really good matchup between two very good teams. So, you know, we expect 2 great days of the Tournament of Heroes action. The game before that against Pace, we were talking about it during the break, should be a good one, another Division II opponent that the Dolphins will face. And then beyond December, Mike, in January and February, it's, I believe, exclusively a CUNY competition.
Yeah, it is, Dave. From January 4th through the final game of the season on February 18th, the Dolphins will have all games against CUNYAC opponents, so that should be 14 games, Dave, in those 2 months to finish the regular season.
Yeah, and every CUNY team is going to be amped to play the Dolphins. They're not the defending champs, but they were within a miracle play at the buzzer against Baruch in the CUNY championship from being the 3-time defending champs. And, you know, with their move to Division II, obviously it leaves a big bullseye on their back. And a lot of teams will be definitely highlighting that game on their schedule.
Yeah, and, you know, Dave, I think the Dolphins are prepared to deal with that bullseye. And, you know, it was, you know, to me so impressive the way the Dolphins came back, really struggling through their first 3 games against some real high-quality opponents. But even from that first game against New York Tech, and they've had 4 consecutive home games since starting with 3 games on the road. You know, the Dolphins have really come out and played very strong games, and even in their one loss against St. Thomas back on Saturday afternoon, Dolphins, I thought, played a very strong game against a top 20 team in the country.
Yeah, for sure. You know, year in and year out, Stack is one of the best teams in the East Coast Conference, Mike, and that's where the Dolphins are heading starting next year, playing each one of those teams twice. So Dolphins, of course, with a good showing against Stack, not quite enough. So,
yeah, you know, I'm sorry, Dave, I was just going to say that, you know, the Dolphins have already shown themselves in this transitional year being more than capable of playing in this conference. And, you know, you mentioned earlier Shamal Martin redshirting, Christian Taylor redshirting as well, sorry. And, you know, so a lot of positive things going on here and a lot of basketball to be played here in the second half.
If Christian doesn't play 6-7 games, you forget about him already, huh? That how it works? All right, here comes Mick now to start things off for CSI, who get the first possession of the second half. They're working inside to Latunji. Latunji to Mick for 3, it's good.
Yeah, so the Dolphins start off with an extra pass, and that's something T.J. Tibbs talked about with us at halftime, Dave.
Yeah, the passing has been crisp for the Dolphins. They committed just 6 turnovers in the first 20 minutes of play. Rashad works it inside. Saki gives it up, but it falls and it off of his fingertips into the hands of Latunji. Latunji, coast to coast, losing it, and now both teams swap turnovers. Isaiah Denard the other way. They give it around to Rashad. Rashad dips into the paint, gets one over to Denard for three. That one was good. Shielded off the play, and now we have a foul as Ziris got tied up with Williams, and it will be on Williams, the foul, the first one of the second half.
So the teams trade three-pointers to start the second half, and it'll be Dolphin basketball.
CSI, full 30 on the shot clock. CCNY looking to put up some pressure now in the backcourt. Needing a run to get them back in it. Cartalis left open for three, it's good.
So the Dolphins pick up with their three-point shooting here in the second half, hitting their first two, and now over 50% from the three-point line.
Biggest lead of the game for the Dolphins now, 25 points. Rashad gives it over to Williams. Inside give, Piskatowski left open and fumbled it a bit. He'll get it back off the leg of Cartalis. I don't know if Piskatowski was expecting that ball, but it was a beautiful pass inside. Here's Denard for three again, no good. Rashad gets the rebound. Around the horn to Williams. Bounce pass Rashad. Driving baseline, lost control, gets it back. No look pass to Saki. His shot was blocked by Ziris. He gets it back. Another block by Ziris, but that one, too much body for Joe, and he picks up the foul.
Yeah, so Ziris picked up his second block of the game on the first shot attempt, but picked up the foul on the second shot attempt. So that's going to send Shockey to the line to shoot two.
So after a hot start, Saki idle at 7 points. First of two is good. For Ziris, that was his second personal foul. Yassine Saki now, closing to double digits. He has 9. Cuts the CSI lead back down to 23. Mick, one-on-one against Rashad. Having a little bit of trouble, finds the timeline, Destin. Back to Mick. Mick to Latunji. Drives inside, he is stripped out of play.
Yeah, so Latunji took that one to the basket. Adiola just 3 for 10 from the field here today. So the Dolphins will inbound, 18 on the shot.
Latunji averaging 22 per game. He's stuck on 6. After the first half, Latunji in the corner, Destin. Mick thought about a three, drives instead. Hesitant pass to Latunji. He fires from three, no good. And Saki gets the rebound. Saki now dribbles three-quarter speed, finds Williams. Williams facing the CSI zone, gives it over to Saki. They work it around Denard. Denard cuts inside the lane, stops at the free throw line, kicks it back. Saki works it all the way around. Piskatowski, baseline two is good.
So Piszakowski able to hit that jumper. That's his first basket of the afternoon. 21-point Dolphin lead.
Let the fans speak for us on that one. Latunji throwing it down on the alley-oop from Cartalis. Now a three the other way. Saki buries it after it rattles around. Explosion at the Sports and Recreation Center on that last exchange. As you got another look at it, this is Cartalis now, floating from the baseline, no good. Saki all alone the other way, and he's fouled. Intentional foul by Destin. The basket was good.
Yeah, you know, sometimes, Dave, the best course of action is to take no action at all. And on that one, Rigo would have been better off just allowing the basket. Now an opportunity for free throws and a possession, an opportunity to cut this lead, which is down to 18, further down.
And for Destin, that will be his second foul. Hasn't been put up yet. Now it's his first foul. And for Saki, who went into halftime with 7 points, he now has 7 in the second half. Misses the first free throw. He's taken over the team lead in points. And second is good, so Saki with 15 points tonight, 2 under his season average. And CCNY, as Mike said, will have possession as well. So thanks to the three-point play, they cut the lead down to 17. And with 20 seconds on the shot clock, CCNY will have possession back again. And they give up top is to Saki. Saki around the horn to Denard. Denard finds the lane. Nice skip pass inside. Piskatowski now baseline 2 is good. And CCNY now with some life. They are on an 8-0 run. Kartalis, Mick, Ziris, Latunji from in front of his bench. Cuts into the paint. His pass almost intercepted. Kartalis gets it back. Desteem drives to Ziris and Mick. Now Mick drives and has a foul on Williams.
Yeah, so Williams put his hands out and picks up a foul. And the Beavers already now, Dave, with 3 team fouls in the first 4 minutes. So the Dolphins will inbound the basketball, and Beavers making it a game here in the second half and, really coming out and playing strong.
Aragundade has returned for CCNY. Meanwhile, this is Latunji from the free throw line. That's good. Rattles in off the front iron.
Yeah, 2 back-to-back baskets by Latunji, and that breaks that 8-0 Beaver run.
Well-timed basket there by the Dolphins, and this is Saki the other way. CCNY looking to continue momentum, and having his pocket pick was Rashad. Desteem the other way, finger rolls it in.
Good defense that time by Rigo. He now has 9.
Teased us a little bit. Looked like he was going to throw that one down, Mike. Right at the last second, changed his mind. Piskatowski giving it over to Rashad. Rashad over the shoulder pass. Kartalis going to get whistled for his third. And we are going to step aside for a media timeout. So breaking the action, CSI with a 19-point lead. They lead 57-38. Stay with us. More CSI men's basketball action after this.
Black on Staten Island, a top 5 wing joint in America by Food and Wine magazine. Serving daily lunch and dinner at the bar or on the floor. Perfect for family and group parties with top shelf drink and delicious food. From great times with good friends. Live sports and watch parties. To Staten Island's hottest nightlife. The Kettle Black features live music and DJs weekly. The Kettle Black features daily and nightly food and drink specials. The best Staten Island has to offer is at the Kettle Black. We'll see you there at the Kettle Black, located on 415 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
Welcome back here to the Sports and Recreation Center. Dolphins with a 19-point lead as we are coming back from a media timeout. I think Mike will get another look at that alley-oop there in slow motion. You see the feed. Great way to throw it down by Latunji. You can see the reaction of the bench as well. That's some good stuff there from the Dolphins, and gave the Dolphins a bigger lead than what they have now, Mike, but still in control.
Yeah, and it's something that really revs the crowd up. You feel the excitement. Even before that dunk went down, you could feel the anticipation in the air from the Latunji jam.
He has his own cheering section here located just to the right of us. Saki gives it over to Denard. Denard sidesteps in the lane. His layup was no good. It was collected by Ziris, and Desteem will control from there. Dolphins slowing things down a bit here, up by a bunch. Looking for win number 3 on the season. Desteem finds Ziris, gives it back to Desteem. Mick now top of the arc. He travels. A couple of steps.
8th turnover for the Dolphins as Mick turned the ball over and will take a seat on the bench.
And Velasquez will check in for Mick. Saki controls. Fakes right, goes left to Cambaris. Piskatowski. Denard in the corner now. This is Rashad for three, and that one's good.
Yeah, Rashad's played well all game long. He's now 3 of 4 from the three-point line, and he has 14.
14. Dolphins' biggest lead was 25. It's down to 16. This is Velasquez gaining the paint and puts one off the glass.
Yeah, you just see Velasquez continuing to show more and more confidence offensively, taking the ball inside on that possession.
So Rashad now controls his team down by 18. He's got 11. He's got 14. Here's Piskatowski. Now Camberis for three, and he drains another one. Camberis now with 6 points. Now the other way, and another transition basket by Chris Velasquez. And we have a timeout whistled on the floor. It is a timeout that is called full timeout. So we'll step aside, take a break. Dolphins back up by 17 here with exactly 14 to go on the clock. Stay with us.
Champions know how to seize opportunities. When they see moments of greatness unfold right before their eyes, they push as hard as they possibly can, and then they push harder. Because the heart of a champion never settles, never quits, and never stops giving its all. We are champions. We are Division II. We go big, we give it everything we've got, and we win. On the field, on our campuses, in our communities, for our causes, in our careers. We rise to become champions in everything we do. We are Division II, and there are no limits here. We make our time count. We set our own path. We become champions on our terms. It's time to up your game, because we're here to play and learn. But most importantly, we're here to discover ourselves, our vision, our heart, our drive, to achieve every goal we aim for, because we want to be champions at the highest level, life. At Division II, the opportunities are here. Are you ready?
Back to live action here from the tank. After the media timeout, CCNY controls. This is Denard going baseline off the glass and in. And offensive foul.
Yeah, so that was a tough break for the Beavers as, they were looking to cut that Dolphin lead down. Instead, they're going to turn the ball over, and it'll be Dolphin basketball. And, Dave Velasquez with the last couple of baskets for the Dolphins, he now has 10 points. He's in double digits now for the second game in a row. And if the Dolphins can get consistent scoring out of Velasquez, that is something that this team really needs, especially against the better teams.
Yeah, Dolphins really expected a lot from Chris last year, and he left the team early, missed the entire second half of the season. And this is Latunji now driving baseline, tries to feed inside to Delahanty. Dolphins reset. Velasquez again drives inside, stops in the paint, no good. And the rebound by Aragundade. He gives it over to Rashad. Rashad sidesteps to the left, now backpedals and wants the reset. CCNY down by 22 at the break. And here is Saki for three, no good. Latunji gets the rebound. Latunji, open three-pointer, no good. And Saki gets the rebound.
Yeah, Adiola looking for his first three-pointer of the night, 0 for 5.
Rashad inside, put some body, no good, but the rebound is won by Rashad. He put it in for the basket.
Yeah, that time Rashad able to grab his own basket, his own rebound, and lay it in. He has 16.
It takes over the team lead in that department. Ziris now gets stonewalled. Gives it out to Velasquez for three. No good. Rebound. It's fluttering, and it's out of bounds. Last touch by CCNY.
Yeah, that was a nice job by Ziris, Joe. He was surrounded by two Beavers, but able to force the Beavers to knock it out of bounds. So it will remain Dolphin basketball, 29-20, the rebounding lead for the Dolphins so far here tonight.
Dolphins with 20 on the shot clock after the offensive rebound. This is Mick for three, who came right into the game, puts one up, no good. Aragundade controls. He gives it over to Saki. Rashad. Inside a give. Saki wants to drive, gives it over in the baseline. Another block by Ziris. That was an Aragundade. Ziris now with 3 blocks. Inside Rashad. Gives it over to Talbot for 3. No good. They battle for the rebound. Finally won by Mick. Off the tip by Latunji. 3-on-2 the other way. Latunji rockets in, and we're going to have a whistle. Offensive foul. TJ Tibbs does not like the call. Neither do the fans behind us. Latunji pleading his case.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll have a chance to see a replay on that one or not, but it didn't look to me like the Beaver defender was able to get his feet set. But nonetheless, it will be a turnover for the Dolphins in Beaver basketball.
While Joe's queuing up that replay, we'll keep it here, Mike, even though we have the full timeout. Dolphins doing a lot of things right, but quietly, Mike, CCNY has toned down a 25-point deficit to now just 15 points.
Yeah, they've knocked it down to 15, Dave, and they had a couple of pretty open opportunities. They've cut down further in that lead. They missed a couple of three-pointers. Saki missing a three-pointer, and let's see if we have an opportunity to take a look at that play. Boy, oh boy, Dave, I'll tell you.
We got a boy, oh boy, out of Mike. Didn't like that call.
That was a tough call on Adiola, and you can see why head coach TJ Tibbs didn't like the call.
Yep. So, but either way, CCNY will get the ball back, down 15. They've improved on their shooting numbers, but Mike, the Dolphins continuing to shoot the ball well. 52% overall, 44% from beyond the arc. They've now taken 25 three-pointers. Now, is that a number you can live with, Mike, or would you rather see the Dolphins penetrate inside a little more, especially against a smaller team?
Well, you know, you heard head coach TJ Tibbs mention that the team is a little more relying on the three-pointers than they've been in the past. It's kind of fool's gold. In the game against Johnson and Wales, they were able to shoot over 50% from the three-point line. I think they hit 17 three-pointers, if I'm not mistaken, in that game. They're doing well from the three-point line here tonight as well. So, you know, it's something that you look out on the floor, you do see a lot of three-point shooters for this Dolphin team.
So we'll see what happens here now with CCNY down by 15. Looking to whittle down the lead once more. Rashad has let him go from there before. Instead gives it up. Saki gets it back. He penetrates, gets the paint, wants the foul, gets it, and will go to the line.
Yeah, the Beavers haven't been within 15 points in quite some time. The last time, Dave, was at 53-38. But an opportunity for them to cut into this Dolphin lead and starting to put a little pressure on, Dave, like you mentioned, quietly getting right back into the game.
And Saki, who's 3 for 4 from the line, will head back there now. His first is no good, and so he stays at 15 for the game. Cambaris will check back in along with Williams. Saki second on the team in points to Rashad's 16, looking to tie that mark. Second free throw is good. He's now 4 of 6 from the free throw line. And CCNY has cut it to 14 points. They employ a lazy press. Dolphins break it. Velasquez, one-on-one against Williams. Velasquez hands off to Latunji. Latunji quickly to Mick, and now Ziris. Ziris looking for room. Bounce pass inside. Delahanty back to Ziris. Ziris down low to Latunji off the glass and in.
Yeah, nice play that time by Ziris, feeding the ball to Latunji, who laid it up and in. Adiola with 12.
Good eyes by both Delahanty and Ziris on that play. Denard to Saki. Up top to Williams. Inside quickly to Denard. He gains the paint, slips one inside, lost his footing. Layup was no good. Here comes Latunji the other way. Finding Velasquez in the corner for 3, no good. Short balled it, and it's going to interfere with Cambaris on the rebound attempt. And Velasquez will get called for the foul. I believe that'll be his third.
Yeah, it is his third, Dave. And more importantly, that's 16 fouls on the Dolphins. So the Beavers will go to the free throw line with the next Dolphin foul.
Until then, possession only here. See CCNY looking to already conserve some time. Down by 16, approaching the halfway point of the second half. Rashad looks for space. They find Williams. Williams drives baseline, nothing doing. Saki with two on him, splits two defenders, gets in the paint, off the glass and in.
Yeah, that time Saki went past 3 Dolphin defenders to make it a 14-point game.
Saki with 18 in the game. This is Latunji. Backs it up to Ziris. Velasquez stops, gives it to Mick. Mick for 3, straight away, no good. Saki gets the rebound. That's his 6th. He thought about a 3, rethinks it. Rashad spots up for 3, that's too strong. And Delahanty gets the rebound. 10 minutes to play here in the second half. Latunji. Delahanty hands off to Mick. Mick penetrates the lane. Look in the corner for Velasquez for 3. It's good.
Big 3-pointer there by Velasquez. The Dolphins needed it. They were just 2 of 8 from the 3-point line before that Velasquez make. He now has 13.
LC side back up by 17 points. Skip pass. Piskatowski. And there's a free throw line extended jumper. That's good. And knocks the lead back down to 15.
Yeah, he started to heat up. He has 6 for the Beavers.
Latunji drops inside. Short jumper off the glass and in. Dolphins running a little bit of transition. Here comes CCNY the other way. Both teams have been crisp and have elevated their shooting totals. Piskatowski, short jumper. That's in and out. And Ziris gets the rebound. Ziris controls. Left-handed dribble. He gets stripped by Camberis. Here comes Camberis the other way, 2 against 1. Camberis off the glass, no good, but he was fouled by Delahanty.
Yeah, that time Delahanty got just enough so that the shot could not be made. So that will force the Beavers to go to the free throw line to shoot 2 with 8:53 remaining in the game. Dolphins over the limit. Delahanty with his 3rd personal.
Camberis with 6 points. This is his first free throw attempts. And he makes the first. Knocks the lead back down to 16.
Camberis now 8 of 8 from the free throw line this year, Dave.
And 1 for 1 tonight. Second free throw is good. And so again, the lead cut down to 15. Nick controls. CCNY wants to put some pressure on. Bounce pass to Destine. Destine 1 against 2. Splits the defense. Reverse layup, no good. Offensive rebound by Ziris, and the putback is in.
Big rebound for Ziris, his 8th rebound of the game. He now has 6.
Dolphins continuing to own the offensive glass. Long range shot by Camberis is no good. He's now 2 of 5 from 3-point range. Destine reversing his dribble, gets it back. Ziris, spot away, 3-pointer, no good. And Rashad gets the rebound. Rashad, his team down by 17. Denard up top. He nearly tripped and fell. Gets it back. Gomez spotting up on him. They work it around to Williams. Up top, Rashad. Piskatowski makes a move on Ziris. Steps inside, off the glass, no good. Off the back of the rim, no good. And the Dolphins here with a chance to grow their lead. Cartalis for 3. That's good.
That's a big 3-pointer, and that opens the lead back to 20.
Dolphins 13th 3-pointer of the evening. Yeah, 13 of 30. There's Rashad now. Bounce pass into Williams. Piskatowski, he gets stripped. And coming up with the basketball is Destine. Destine getting it over to Gomez. Gomez wants to reset. Mick, Ziris. Ziris almost gets stripped, and now does. Piskatowski. Getting over to Williams now, Rashad. Rashad gets through 2 defenders, stops at Ziris. They get back to Camberis for 3, and that one's good. And now a timeout will be called by CCNY as we approach the final few minutes of this one. It's a full timeout. We will step away. When we come back, more CSI men's basketball action. It's 73-56 in favor of the Dolphins.
Cobra, a taco joint, Staten Island, where we're proud to have shared our family-first spirit with people from throughout New York City and the world. With indoor dining available both at the bar and on the floor. Or step outside for additional seating and an outdoor bar. Serving beer that's crisp, ice cold, and worthy of a day at the beach. Cocktails that explode with flavor. And great food made with the freshest and healthiest ingredients available. Events feature food and drink specials. Live music. And the best of Staten Island nightlife. Your CSI Student ID saves you 10% on your dining order at Cobra. Visit us at 412 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
That Holbrook commercial, the voiceover by Joe Foreman, who also delivered us our stats, Mike. So we thank Joe and Sam Flecker over on the other side, delivering us all of our statistics and our live feed here, which is working seamlessly here for Game 2.
Yeah, Dave, and the Dolphins have been able to come out in their 29 of 55 from the field today, which is just under 53%, and really doing a nice job. And the Beavers have been able to cut it down to as few as 14 in the second half, Dave, but so far that's as close as they've gotten.
The Dolphins, who are up by 17 after the timeout called by CCNY, we see what they have in store defensively for the Dolphins. Destim controls. He hands off to Gomez. Gomez getting valuable minutes here. So over to Ziris. They continue to hand off in the corner to Gomez for three. No good. Long rebound. Finally tracked down by Camberis. Camberis, the long-range threat, gives way to Piskatowski. All the way across court, Rashad. Rashad working it around. Drop pass over to Denard. Denard from the free throw line. That jumper is good.
Nice fadeaway jumper that time by Denard. He has 5.
This is as close as CCNY has been able to get it here in the second half. 15 points. This is Cartalis. Bounce over to Destim in the corner for three. No good. He hesitated on that shot a little bit, Mike. And here comes Rashad the other way. Rashad losing it. And Zira steals it.
Yeah, that time Rashad doing a little too much, Dave.
Gomez drops to Cartalis. Cartalis for three. Well short. And Piskatowski gets the rebound. Now this is Williams controlling. Williams looking for some help. Rashad. Camberis. Rashad again. Piskatowski for a free throw jumper. No good. Rebound won by Destim. So now CCNY growing a little cold from the floor. Mick. CSI comfortably ahead. Looking to keep it that way. Mick penetrates. Cartalis. Very long three-pointer. Missed it badly. And Williams gets the rebound. Williams controls. CCNY all the way to the hoop is Williams. And gets it to go. This is the closest that CCNY has gotten here in the second half. It's now 13 points. Dolphins led by as many as 25 here in the second half. Mick over to Gomez. Gomez almost lost it. Gets it back. Now gets tied up. And it's going to be a jump ball possession to the Beavers.
Yeah,
and now wholesale changes coming in for both teams.
Yeah, Dave, the Dolphins had pulled out by a 73-53 lead. The lead up to 20. Beavers have responded with the last 7 points to make it a 13-point game with 4:48 remaining. Dolphins need a defensive stop.
Dolphins have been scoreless for over 3 minutes. And CCNY a chance to cut it even closer. Saki thought about a three, bouncing inside instead. Really awful shot attempt, but the rebound put back by Arunga today puts the game now to within 11 points. Velasquez, bounce pass inside to Cartalis. Nice give and go. And Cartalis hits it home.
Yeah, he thought the Dolphins might try to run clock. Instead, they attacked the basket. A big basket there for the Dolphins.
Dolphins needed it badly after a 9-2 run. Williams cuts inside, drop pass inside to Saki, and his layup is good. He's got 20 now on the evening. CCNY again down by 11. Latunji in front of his own bench. Puts it back up top. The Dolphins reset. Velasquez cutting inside to Latunji. Latunji spots up for three. No good. And the Dolphins have gone ice cold from three-point range. They've missed their last 5. Here comes CCNY the other way. Denard for three. That one is up. No good. And Latunji gets the rebound.
Yeah, big miss that time by Denard. Could have made it an 8-point game.
Yeah, that would have been huge for the Beavers. That Steam now controls. He cuts inside. Gets it off the glass. No good. Foul whistled. It'll be against the Beavers. Denard might have gotten under the reach of Latunji.
He did, and that's a foul on the Beavers. And the Dolphins very fortunate, Dave. The last possession, they took a 3-point shot with 14 seconds remaining on the shot clock. This time, a tough shot opportunity by the Dolphins with 17 on the shot clock. Dolphins fortunate that the Beavers committed the loose ball foul.
Media timeout on the floor. We will step aside, take a break, and when we come back, more CSI Dolphins action at 75-64.
Black on Staten Island, a top 5 wing joint in America by Food and Wine magazine. Serving daily lunch and dinner at the bar or on the floor. Perfect for family and group parties with top shelf drink and delicious food. From great times with good friends. Live sports and watch parties. To Staten Island's hottest nightlife. The Kettle Black features live music and DJs weekly. The Kettle Black features daily and nightly food and drink specials. The best Staten Island has to offer is at the Kettle Black. We'll see you there at the Kettle Black, located on 415 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
Welcome back here to live action, Mike. At that timeout, TJ Tibbs and his entire coaching staff stood on their seats. They let the Dolphins kind of figure it out on the floor while CCNY was game planning on their bench. So Tibbs was not happy, and I think he made sure his team knew it by not confronting them during the timeout.
Yeah, so, the Dolphins lead all the way down to 11, and the Beavers had a big opportunity as Isaiah Denard had a wide-open look at a three-pointer, Dave, that could have cut the lead down to 8 with about 4 minutes remaining, but they couldn't hit the three-point, and now the Dolphins will inbound the basketball with 20 seconds remaining, up by 11, Dave. They might want to run some shot clock on their next couple of possessions.
Yeah, so 11-point lead with under 4 minutes left. You kind of like your chances, but here comes a turnover off the timeout. This is Williams all the way in. He's fouled.
Yeah, so the Dolphins careless. They haven't turned the ball over that much tonight, Dave. Just their 12th turnover of the game. The Beavers have turned it over 12 times as well. But a couple of big turnovers here in the latest stages of the second half. And now it's going to be an opportunity for Williams to go to the free throw line to cut down this 11-point Dolphin lead.
This is something that CCNY has done well tonight, is from the line. And that's the Pizzuto jinx in full effect as they missed the first of 2 free throws.
Yeah.
Williams is 0 for 1. Second free throw is good. So it's a 10-point game with 3:14 to go. And CCNY looking to press. Ziris intercepted by Rashad. Rashad goes in. His shot was blocked. And the Dolphins get the rebound. Nice defensive job by the Dolphins on that last attempt by Rashad. That could have been huge for CCNY.
Yeah, another tough break for the Beavers.
Steam cuts inside. Offensive foul.
Yeah, I don't know, Dave. The Dolphins up by 10 with the basketball and just rushing to get shots up on the basket. And, that's 3 possessions in a row that taking shots early in the shot clock.
15 turnovers for the Dolphins after just 6 in the first half. CCNY. Now controls a chance to cut it to single digits. Time is against them, so they do need to hurry. Piskatowski, and it's off the Dolphins.
Yeah, so just 10 on the shot clock. Good defensive job by the Dolphins, forcing the Beavers to run 20 seconds off the game clock.
There's Denard wide open in the corner, elects to step in, and there's a baseline jumper. That one's good. And the Beavers are down by 8. They press again. Delahanty being harassed, gives it over to Destine. Destine cuts inside. His shot was blocked and out of bounds.
Yeah, again, Dave, 22 seconds on the shot clock, and it wasn't like this team had an open layup. The Dolphins just refusing to take some time off the shot clock. They have 22 seconds remaining. Let's see what they do on the inbounds as Destine comes out of the game.
In favor of Austin Mick. Dolphins inbound cleanly. This is Ziris. Ziris back over to Mick. Dolphins again want to use the shot clock. Ziris looking in the corner, takes it himself. He's almost stripped. He is stripped by Rashad. Williams comes up with it. Williams to Denard. Denard to Williams. Saki now. Under 2 minutes to play. CCNY needs baskets. Rashad. He's been the go-to. So is this young man, Saki. Now to Williams. 10 on the shot clock. His pass was intercepted. It was disrupted by Latunji, collected by Mick. 1:38 to play. Mick. Mick continues. Over to Latunji. Latunji gains the paint. Got contact. Short-armed it. No good. Here comes CCNY the other way. It's Saki. One-on-one against Ziris. His shot was blocked.
Yeah, Ziris continuing to play well on the defensive end. He picks up his 4th block, and just 1:19 remaining. And Dave, the Dolphins have really been struggling here down the stretch.
And as we're inside of a final couple of minutes, we'll keep it right here for the rest of the way. The Dolphins led by as many as 25 points in the second half. That 25-point lead is down to just 8. Mike, I had a feeling this was going to be a runaway in the second half.
Yeah, CCNY is now on a 14-2 run here, Dave. Dolphins led in this game by 20, 73-53. Dolphins with just 2 points since that time, Dave.
Yeah, they've been off, and their shooting numbers have plummeted a little bit. They're now under the 50% mark. Still very admirable, 48% from the floor. But, Mike, they've taken 35 three-pointers, and they've only taken 27 two-pointers. So more than half of their shots have been three-pointers.
Yeah, and Dave, the Dolphins had just 7 turnovers at the half. They have 16 now, and they've had the last 5. They were behind in turnovers, or ahead in turnovers, 12-11, and it's now 16-13. Dolphins with the 16.
So CCNY now with a huge possession. Rashad, baseline 3, no good. Off the back iron, too strong. As Mick controls.
Beavers had a lot of opportunities, just not able to hit the big shot, and now they're forced to foul Austin Mick with 1:08 remaining, but that's just a 16 foul, Dave, so the Dolphins will get to inbound.
That was the foul to give. Next one will put the Dolphins at the line. And remember, Mike, the Dolphins have not taken a free throw shot in this half, and they were 2 for 8 in the first half, so they struggled in the first half from the line, and they haven't been on the line at all in this half. And Mick gets fouled by Rashad. So for Rashad, that'll be personal foul number 1. And Mick will go to the free throw line. I don't know if you have Mick's numbers, but this is his first trip.
Yeah, he's 2 of 4 from the line on the year, Dave, 50%.
So Mick has 12 points. You see his line. He's 4 of 8 from the floor, all shots from three-point range. And now a chance to grow the Dolphins' lead. And first no good. Front end of a 1-and-1 miss. CCNY another huge trip down the floor. We got a minute left, and it's turned over by Williams. Steal by Cartalis. And CSI the other way, forced to foul. And they're going to put Velasquez at the free throw line. And so Velasquez, it'll be his first trip to the line. He's got 13 points. And he'll have a chance here.
So the Beavers still within 3 possessions, Dave, down by 8. But if Chris could hit his 2 free throws, that would make it a 4-possession game. As you mentioned, Dave, the Dolphins with just 1 free throw in the second half, 2 of 9 on the night.
Velasquez, first one is in. He's 4 of 7 for the season, so he came in just 3 of 6, but salvages that one. The Dolphins are 3 for 10 from the free throw line tonight. Second free throw rattles in and out. But with under a minute left, Beavers need some points, need them quickly, and they need some stops. Three-pointer, Camberis off the glass, no good. Velasquez gets the rebound, and Latunji gets the timeline. They're going to foul Latunji here with 36 seconds to go. So Latunji will go to the line. It'll be his first trip to the free throw line.
And with a 9-point lead, Dave, and just under 37 seconds remaining, Dolphins putting themselves in a good position to win their 3rd game in the last 4 contests. But, boy, it got interesting down the stretch.
It sure did. And Latunji makes the first. That was a 1-and-1. So it certainly made sense to foul in that sense. Latunji's second free throw is good.
Yeah, that's his first 2 free throws of the night, Dave.
So Dolphins back up by 11 as we have about a half a minute to go. Piskatowski for 3. I think that was blocked by Ziris again. And for Ziris now, that is block number 5.
Yeah, he really does a lot of things that
they didn't
helps.
give him the block.
That helps us. You'll talk to Joe later. This is a nice victory for the Dolphins, doing a nice job bouncing back, Dave, off of that loss on Saturday, and it got a little tight down the stretch. The Dolphins uncharacteristically turning the ball over in the last 5 times in the last couple of minutes, but doing enough and sticking to the defense and forcing a couple of key CCNY turnovers down the stretch as well.
Yeah, you know what, Mike? We can't we can't forget the fact that the Dolphins too are kind of have to go through these motions too. They have a veteran team, and they should they should be able to weather this storm, but they also have to be resilient. They haven't really played with a lead of that magnitude at all this season. So the fact that they've had a lot of confrontation in their face, up by 25, it wasn't going to be a picnic. CCNY kept coming. It's good to see the Dolphins stay resilient, stay poised, stay composed, and weather this game out. It certainly looks like they're going to, win this one here with 28 seconds to go, and up by 11 and a chance to make it more here for Velasquez. And the first is good for Velasquez, who is now 2 for 3 from the line and has 15 points. And that one is good as well. So Dolphins grow the lead back up to 13. Velasquez would do well just to back off here. Let CCNY take their opportunities. 3-point basket for Rashad, no good. Rebound won by Latunji. CCNY will not foul here. And Mick bounce passes it to Ziris. Ziris back to Mick, and that should do it. The CSI Dolphins will improve to 3-4 overall. CCNY will fall to 0-7. Dolphins led by as many as 25, and they settle for a 13-point win, 80-67.
Yeah, Dave, the Dolphins did plenty in this game that you could be excited about, and again, they struggled a little bit down the stretch, but like you mentioned, it's a learning experience for this Dolphin team as well. Able to get a couple of key turnovers when they needed them, force a couple of big misses, and a couple of big free throws down the stretch. Latunji able to hit a couple of free throws. Velasquez able to hit a couple of free throws down the stretch, and it adds up to a 13-point victory. Gets the Dolphins back to within 1 game of 500, and an opportunity to get back to 500 this Friday night against Medgar Evers.
Yeah, we're going to await Andrew Cartalis, who will join us very shortly here on the postgame. Dolphins improving to 3-4, as Mike mentioned, and with Medgar Evers coming up on Friday, we'll get Andrew's impressions of what took place here tonight. All right, Andrew, welcome to the post-game show. Great game for you individually, and your team was able to weather a storm there by CCNY in the second half to come out on top. What did you guys do right in today's game to come out on top?
We tried to stay under control. You know, they play tough. They're a tough team to play. They play real hard, so we just tried to keep the momentum and keep playing our game.
You know, it seems like you guys really, were concentrating on the three-point shot tonight. 35 three-point attempts. Is that part of the game plan, or you just, when you see them open, you take them?
When we're open, we take them. We have a lot of good shooters on our team, and, Coach likes us to take good shots, and, that's what we get from our teammates.
Great.
Andrew, the team has won 3 games out of their last 4. You got Mega Rivers coming up on Friday night. What is the team looking to do over the course of the next few games before the Tournament of Heroes?
Just keep playing our game, keep our strategy, run our stuff, execute, and make shots.
All right, Andrew, so 3-4. You have a lot of CUNY games upcoming, and December only has a few more games. After Medgar is pacing in Tournament of Heroes. How does this team stay charged up, fired up for the home stretch?
Starts in practice. We just got to go hard every day in practice and keep playing our game.
All right, Andrew, great game for you. 15 points tonight. Enjoy the win. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So Andrew Cartalis, winners here over CCNY. Mike, he was good when he had to be. He made some pretty big three-point shots in big moments of the game. And for the Dolphins, maybe it didn't go down the stretch the way they would have liked after being up by 22 at halftime. But a win is a win is a win. The Dolphins will take it.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it, Dave. Dolphins playing a little bit better offensively. They got to 80 points tonight. They scored 82 against New York Tech. The team is looking a little bit better offensively. And, really, I think that early, tough preseason schedule, playing some really tough teams, have really set the Dolphins up in good position heading into December and heading into their last couple of games against Mega and Pace before the Tournament of Heroes.
All right, so that will pretty much do it for us. We will not be on the air again until next week when the CSI women's basketball team will take on Malloy in a midweek battle here, a single game next week. So from all of us here at CSI Sportsnet, we wish you a good rest of the week into the weekend, and we'll see you next week for more basketball action. Remember, in the meantime, everything CSI Athletics on CSIDolphins.com. For our statisticians across the way, Joe Foreman and Samantha Flecker, for our camera operator, Joe Cusimano, for our engineer, Joe Masha, for Mike Babuski, I'm David Pizzuto, wishing you a very good night. 2 wins for the CSI Dolphins tonight, and this one 80-67 over CCNY. Good night, everybody.